in low-density areas. These are suburbs like Mansfield, Carindale, Mackenzie and Wakerley. And if approved by the state government, the ban would apply to about 2/3 of all residential land across Brisbane City. Now, the Brisbane City Council has declined a request for an interview. So let's go to Natalie Raymond, who's from the pro-development group YIMBY. That's Yes in My Backyard. Natalie Raymond, you don't think this ban should go ahead. Why not?
Well, Steve, I think housing affordability has got to become the number one issue driving our debate about city planning and the way that our cities are going to grow into the future. And, that is because people are gravitating to cities, our cities are growing, and yet we want to curb urban sprawl in favour of more sustainable and compact walkable cities. And so I think an outright ban on a legitimate and often more affordable form of housing, being the low-density townhouse, has to be a step backwards for our city.
The Brisbane City Council is making the dream of owning a first home more like a nightmare, you believe?
Well, I think so. I think it's important to understand that this is a form of housing that is occurring in our suburbs, usually the middle to outer suburbs of Brisbane, and it's most often delivered at a price point that is below your single-family dwelling house, your house and a big backyard.
So banning townhouses from large areas of the city would remove an affordable option from the market.
Absolutely.
And would limit the next generation becoming homeowners.
That's what my fear is, that it's actually taking out that price point that is affordable to younger people looking for a home in our cities, also for downsizers wanting to actually step down from their big single-family dwelling in the suburbs but stay in the neighbourhood.
That's often a way people get into homes that more mature people sell their bigger home, move into something that's more manageable, a bit smaller, thus freeing up housing stock for people wanting to buy into a bigger home and start a family and the like. Is that right?
Absolutely. So I just think taking away that choice of housing, it cannot be good for our housing affordability and housing choice.
Natalie Raymond is from the pro-development group Yes in My Backyard. I stress we did ask the Brisbane City Council onto the program this afternoon, but sadly they declined our request for an interview. Smaller, Natalie Raymond, usually means more affordable. So as far as you're concerned, what will this ban do in, say, areas like the high-rise apartments? Will it force more people into high-rise apartments in places like the Central Business District and the Valley and other areas like that?
I think that's exactly what will happen. If we take out this form of housing in our city, then it's, and for the people that cannot afford to buy a single-family dwelling in the suburbs, they're going to be pushed to high-rise development in a city, and that's not everybody's choice. That might not be the choice for young families who can't afford the big single-family dwelling but still want a townhouse. And that's, a townhouse is a house side by side, so it's got a shared party wall with another house, but it's still got a backyard. Yes, it's a small backyard, it's a courtyard, but that's a legitimate housing form for many people that don't want to choose the high-rise inner-city apartment.
The proposed townhouse ban is part of the Brisbane's Future Blueprint document. And instead of unlocking the suburbs, it has the potential to lock up places and restrict options. Why then do you think it's in the plan? Why do you think the council's considering it?
Look, I think that the plan has evolved from a lot of consultation, and I understand that and I applaud that, and I think this is the biggest undertaking of consultation about how our city goes forward that council's done in 10 years. So I absolutely understand that it's coming from a discussion with the community. For me, I think, though, that discussion has to be in more depth because we need to, if there's a concern about townhouses in suburbs, then let's understand what that concern is. If it's
so this is residents. This is residents complaining about townhouses, by the sounds of it, to the council.
Yeah, it sounds like that, and certainly, not all of that information is available, but the summary is saying that there's a concern in the community about townhouses, and unfortunately the response has been, let's put an absolute ban on them in our low-density suburbs rather than look at what that issue is. Is it a design issue? Is it a size issue? Is it a location issue? And let's work with that. So I think an intelligent conversation with the community needs to take place.
Do you support, though, the Brisbane's Future Blueprint document?
look, I think that there's some really good actions in that document, and more greenery in our cities, opening up the opportunity to put green space on our rooftops, shade those rooftops. That's something that YIMBY Queensland encouraged, and we're very pleased to see that in the blueprint. There is some other comments more broadly to say let's encourage housing choice. So it's really just a couple of these specific actions like ban the townhouse that I'm concerned about.
Natalie Raymond, thanks for your time.
Thanks.
Natalie Raymond from YIMBY, yes, in my backyard. We did invite the Brisbane City Council